By the way, if you are listening to this podcast, it is because of Anchor.fm. Anchor is a free app in the App Store for any mobile device. There's also an app on the computer and a web interface, and it lets you record your podcast right there on that device. You don't have to use like sophisticated Pro Tools or Logic or a mixer board or any of that fun stuff. You just hit a button and you talk about what you want to talk about.
I like it.
I like it too. It's really exciting because you can make a podcast and it distributes it to like 12 or 15 different podcast services all at once on their end. You don't actually have to like go submit it to iTunes or something like that.
That is super convenient.
It is super convenient. It's great. And you can do sponsorships, so you can do like little promotional commercial type stuff, and then they give you some money.
Yeah.
Which money is nice. It gets things and stuff.
Correct.
Yeah. Highlights. Free app. Easy distribution. Instantly record.
Done.
Yeah. Anyway, back to what we were talking about.
Are we recording now?
Yeah, we're recording now.
Nice.
Well, welcome back to Yelling at Trees.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes, our we have podcasted
Yeah, we're
on this name
Apple
before.
Podcast and the other
and the Pear
podcast,
podcasts
the
and
our
Great
Tangerine podcast.
We've been off the air for a while because our Roadcaster got a bit of Dr. Pepper in it,
That's a great
and it
name.
has been quite a while
yeah,
getting a new one. And
We have a
getting
new
it fixed, and
Roadcaster because Roadcaster 1, our original Roadcaster,
RC1.
the day we set it up, I poured an entire liter cup of Dr. Pepper directly into it on accident.
You know, you pour a liter into yourself, nothing happens. You pour it into a Roadcaster, and
Oh no, wait.
something happens.
There's more because the Roadcaster survived this. Because Dan was here and Dan knew immediately, oh, we should take that and flip it upside down so all the pop drains out of it. So he did that. And then a couple of days later, we turned it back on and everything was working. The only downside was whatever volume the microphones were set at the day that the pop got spilt
That was the
now
volume.
what 0 was
Oh,
on
no.
the faders.
Yeah,
That's even worse.
So there was no way to turn anything even kind of down unless it was all the way off. And so you'd move it from 0 to almost 1 and it in your ears and you're like, oh my God, it's so loud. And so finally I got desperate enough and frustrated enough at having a Roadcaster that was useless to send it in to Rode, who's the company that makes it. It cost like $80 to ship it.
Wow.
it's heavy.
And then they just sent me a brand new one.
Did they really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Like it wasn't in the same box or anything. It was all brand new, had the plastic on it and everything. It's like, we don't even want to look at it. We're just going to throw it away. Here's a new one.
I
was
think this
incredibly
last
nice of them.
Roadcaster might be a biohazard, so let's just
Yeah.
burn that one.
Yeah. And
It is incredibly nice of them. We're by no way sponsored by them in this podcast.
Right. Because they would never. Well, I mean, in the way that we're using a free Roadcaster, kind of.
Brought to you by Roadcaster.
Brought to you by people who don't know that they're bringing you this. You know.
That
Some
is
guy
true.
named Dave, probably. Yeah. But anyway,
Worse ideas have been tried, and
some of them have been published and made money. So
there you go.
I don't know if you guys have seen Stranger Things. It's basically like fan fiction about the 80s.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
it's wildly successful. And let's just say if you've read a single anime, nothing in that show is a surprise. Even in season 3, where there's tentacle monsters.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
I mean,
that's strange because I think from the first season you kind of had a tentacle monster. You just didn't have
Right.
him fully fleshed out for everybody to see.
right.
Yet.
And when the psychic girl uses her powers, she goes, ah, and moves things with her mind, which is every episode of Dragon Ball
Oh
Z.
yeah, and they're with hand extended and
Professor X
fingers going
style.
in every direction and as if pushing with your hand was going to make the force happen better or something.
I watched the last season, and at the end of it, I was thinking, she's going to do the spirit bomb. I just know it.
I just waited for her to go, oh!
Yeah. Good times.
And when the air vibrates around her, I was waiting for that big explosion right as she came off the wall and attacked the monster. That's what I was waiting to see.
Classic.
It did happen. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have to say though, Dragon Ball Z has one of the, like, in my opinion at least, one of the better theme songs of the animes that I know.
Which one?
Yeah.
Because there's
The American version was the best.
It
we
was
like
really good.
like that one or the other one.
It's like
It's kind of a screaming rock song, right?
Yeah.
Dragon, rock the dragon,
No, not
dragon
that
ball.
Because the other one's like, come on, you know, like that kind of thing. That's the one I remember. I mean, none of that was words that are in that theme song because I don't know any Japanese that I'm aware of.
no, it's the one in English.
Oh, well, then I've never heard that one.
No, it's the one that was on Saturday morning cartoons.
Unless they were Rocking the Dragon. It's the one I've heard. But I watched
Rocking the
it
Dragon.
before you were alive. So there's been a gap of time. They must have redone the theme song at some point.
Perhaps, yeah.
And I think there's like 3 different series. Like there's Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball something else.
Oh yeah, I was
Dragon
talking
Ball
about,
Z Kai, and
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z Kai was the one.
that's
I
the one.
watched.
That's
I don't
the
know
one
that
she
I've ever
watched
seen
most.
that one.
That's pretty fun. Actually.
That was the one where they redid it for American TV for kids,
right.
and they cut out a lot of the filler stuff, so that it was just the good stuff.
Right. Yeah. It was just the battle scenes.
And they re-released it
and
on
they
whatever
really
for
pumped
kids
up.
TV or something.
I prefer the one where they cut out everything and just filled it with really dumb jokes. That's my
You mean the
favorite
abridged
one.
version,
It's
which is
so
so fun.
great. Quack. So Krillin, who dies in every stretch of the series or whatever, his new fighting style is to like hide in the distance and say quack every once in a while because it keeps him alive because nobody notices him.
I always wanted my vein in my forehead to like bulge out like they do in the movies or in the shows. It's just so awesome because you can actually see it throbbing too. It's not that it's there. It's like it's, you know, pronouncing itself every couple seconds to remind you that I still have a pulse.
I imagine that unlike animated world, in real life, if that happened, it would immediately be followed by stroke.
That's right. You just see my right arm go stiff.
He
and I
was so
start to start
intense, and now he
exploding my
smiles
rage.
with half his face.
I'm like, bring it on, Vegeta. You know who you think you are.
Exactly. So anyway, this is Yelling at Trees, and if you haven't noticed from the name, his entire podcast is about things that are pointless and will not actually change anything in the world. I like to yell at the trees in my backyard. I like to open the back door, walk out on the porch, and go, "Get off my lawn!" But they don't listen because they're trees.
Or even better, get out of my swamp. But we're part of the swamp.
I don't have a swamp. I need a swamp.
We gotta get a swamp. Come on.
Yes.
Emily said that we need a swamp, Corey. So,
It's on the list.
all right,
It's on the list. Nice.
yeah, and then we'll have to learn Scottish accents so that we can talk about our swamp. That was a Shrek reference.
I
Yes,
get it.
I got you.
It's a movie.
It's a movie with a donkey.
It's the ultimate movie.
Yeah.
It's actually a documentary about a real life, whatever he is.
Okay.
Thank you.
A real life Mike Myers.
That's right. It's actually Mike Myers' autobiography.
Not to be confused with Michael Myers, who's quieter and angrier.
I don't know which
Much
one I like
quieter.
better. One made me kind of startle and then laugh, and the other one just makes me laugh. But they're both good. So I Married an Axe Murderer sounds like it would be like a horror movie, but it turns out to be
only
entirely
for about
not.
3 minutes. And then
Well,
the
there's
rest of the movie's
there's
pretty funny.
the love story is kind of a horror movie, but
So
the
this
rest
is
of
an
it's pretty
actual
good.
movie. You're not just making it up on
Oh
the
no!
fly.
So I Married an
Okay.
Axe Murderer is
What?
actually
You haven't
hilarious.
seen this?
You have not seen that?
What?
Oh my gosh!
There's so
we
many
know
that I
what we're
haven't
doing-
seen.
what we're
All right,
doing
we'll be
later.
stopping this podcast any second now to go watch that movie. And then we'll be coming back, and Corey's mind will be blown.
Yes.
Literally blown.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the only movie I can think of that makes beat poetry seem cool for a second.
Head move. Love this.
And it's the long tradition of Mike Myers playing.
Look at
6
the noggin on
characters
that
per
guy.
movie.
You go cry yourself to sleep on your giant pillow.
Yeah, he did say that. I've seen that.
That's pretty good.
It's in a movie.
It's funny because only you two are laughing, and we have no idea what you're talking about.
I have no idea what they're talking about either.
Well, you're laughing at us.
That's how real
being
life
silly
works
and
sometimes.
Saying funny things, but
I'm noticing now that we have 4 microphones on that I can really hear that 3D printer running in the background.
And it has been going for 2 days.
I honestly thought there
At
was
least.
like a heater on in the background or something.
Corey's
like a little
printing like
portable heater.
a soccer ball or something. I told him it's going to be hard because it's plastic, but it's still printing.
No, it's going to be super cool, I promise.
Yeah, it looks to me like a scale model of the expo center thing at Disney World. What's it called?
The
It
donut
looks like
thing.
pottery to me right now.
Oh,
It just looks like
the
a
golf
little-
ball. Like
Yeah,
the giant golf
yeah,
ball.
the giant geodesic dome thing. It's called something,
I love domes.
but I can't remember what it's called. It's like Brandon.
Epcot Center. Or
Epcot,
That's it.
yes.
Yeah.
That's such
I
a
was
weird
way
name.
off.
Epcot. What?
Samsonite.
Schweirdy.
Schwam.
We bought it from the Amazons.
Samsonite.
Yeah, it was sent here from a river in Brazil. We ordered it
Amazon.
from the Amazonians. They made it themselves and shipped it here.
After they hiked up a huge mountain.
Yep, I assume. Well, they might have used a boat.
So
It's
what
a
is
river.
really going to be, and not a golf ball, is a globe that has a bunch of little dots in it, and when you shine a light through it, it's supposed to show up as Sauron's eye from Lord of the Rings.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as, all the dots line up and everything goes right. When I peel the supports off of it, if I don't rip something apart, it'll be perfect.
That's all true.
It may just look like a cat's eye, too. I mean, because that's
True.
not too far off from what the Sauron eye looks like.
And who doesn't like cats, right?
Well, yeah, the creepiest thing about the cat is the eye of the cat.
The animal or the musical?
Yes.
The movie.
Well, if you're going to go to the theater, you could have gone to see a movie. And then you could have laughed and said whatever you wanted, and no one would be upset.
So I watched a YouTube video about the Cats movie because I'll never watch the movie.
Right. That's
Yeah.
about as close as you can get, right?
All of my information about this subject is third or even fourth hand because I am not putting my first or second hand anywhere near that.
Well, he's allergic to cats and not
Yeah.
the animals
So
either.
they created a character for this movie and then gave that character 2 or 3 songs. That character steals several plot points from the actual main character of the show,
Right.
and the song that character sings completely negates every song that main character sings.
Wow.
So basically they're like, we really want Taylor Swift to be in this, but there's not a cat that resembles her in any way. So we'll just create a new cat and give her all the best lines, but no character development. And they're like, yeah, no, that makes sense.
I think the studio people probably are run by Bond villains, like a conglomerate of Bond villains.
Yeah, somewhere
coming up with the
somebody's
soda
got
thing.
a white cat that they pet while they're
It's a-
talking about these movies in development.
Well, just about every musical movie that you've seen recently is probably made by that same group of villains.
Yeah,
my
all the
thought.
live action Disney movies that
Oh
are.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, and the ones about prostitution too. I think they got a couple of those now. So
live action musicals about prostitution.
I think so. Yeah.
You're talking about Les Miserables, right?
No, no, that would actually make
not
sense
Aladdin,
because that
is
would be
it?
an actual. That would actually be criminals
It's-
and prostitutes. But no, this is actually like,
Actually, it's aptly named. It's Beauty and the Beast.
which also explains my
They were in
marriage.
France.
No. I try not to call my wife the Beast. But,
There are so many things that are legal in France that we don't even want to talk about or know about.
If it's illegal
Oh,
in France,
man.
then you know it's bad.
Super bad. Like the movie, but way worse.
I haven't seen that movie either.
It's not worth watching because all the funny stuff that happens in that movie is like the trailer. Not to be confused with the Super Troopers, where you laugh until you hurt the entire movie.
Mm.
They throw syrup bottles at each other.
Hey, what's the name of that restaurant you like? You know, that has all the-
Shenanigans? Are you talking about Shenanigans? I love Shenanigans. It's fun movie to watch with friends or alone.
So
So
alone.
alone. I usually watch it alone because I'm usually alone.
We know Adam. You don't have to whisper, everybody.
Oh, sorry.
As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, you can shout as loud as you want about the trees. Will not mind.
I didn't want everybody to hear about my sadness because of how big it is.
I'm not bragging. I'm just saying it's bigger
Yeah.
than
I
average.
can
Yeah.
hear you adjusting your headphones.
Really?
In my headphones, yes.
I can
Wow.
hear what you're hearing.
What?
What?
It's
That
like we're
hurts.
all connected to the same headphone jack.
I guess that's accurate.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah. I wonder who it was that came up with the idea to call a basic connector a jack.
I don't know.
Because
It
the
ain't-
only other thing I can think of called jack does nothing like a connector, which is like the thing that raises your car
Hmm.
or like a pallet.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if his name was Jim.
Maybe there was a guy named Jack that worked at a place and he did all of those jobs, and so they just decided to call everything a jack.
Hmm.
There's that expression, a jack of all trades.
Wow.
Man, we just made like a really terrifying connection in the world of Jack.
Terrifying connection.
Yes.
Terrifying.
A terrifying Jack.
Connection. Terrifying Jack. Oh, man, we just jacked this whole thing up.
Hmm.
Yeah, you don't know, Jack.
That's the way she likes it.
I don't know Jack. I do know Jack. There's a guy named Jack, and he sells sound equipment that has jacks on it. Oh my gosh.
Jackception.
I think it was meant to be.
Yeah. His name's Jack. He owns a business that does audio video stuff for big concerts and events, and he is almost completely out of business now because of the
Wow.
COVIDs.
Yep, all 19 of them.
Oh, so many COVIDs. Everybody's getting sick and sad, and not going to concerts because people sneeze at concerts and it makes it unsafe.
It's true.
I think that's how that works. I'm not entirely sure.
You go there ready to sneeze. It's like carrying a loaded gun right there. I mean,
I've just
shouldn't
been
be
told
allowed
I'm
in.
required
Hold
to
on.
wear a
That
mask
guy's holding his head
when I
back.
do things.
Don't let him in. He's loaded.
Oh gosh! Get off my lawn!
He just goes around. He
Get
just
out
goes
of my
around,
swamp!
he just goes around shaking pepper at people, trying to get them to sneeze.
Hey trees, you don't belong here. Sorry.
Man, stop cutting down trees, man. Trees are great.
It's great.
Lumberjack?
Ah! No
She
way,
went
no way,
there.
no way. That just happened. Okay, we're gonna be fine. We should-
I just need some suspenders.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
some
Actually, I
suspenders.
think you
And
do.
I
Or-
do have some suspenders, but they're not the the kind that you want to do that with.
Or some flannel.
Yes, flannel. I've got flannel sheets. I've got them from a Bass Pro Shop.
My favorite thing about Pizza Hut when I was a kid was that they had the black and white checkered tablecloths.
Mm-hmm.
Like for my entire life, that's immediately what I think of when I see black and red squares is pizza. Pizza Hut. Yay, Pizza Hut.
Woohoo.
Like the wall here.
Kind of. Like I mean that's like a rectangle probably.
Yeah, a little more rectangular.
Yeah. But you know. Yeah.
It reminds me of Mongolian banners and such.
It's supposed to be sound isolation, but then we put a bunch of sound stuff in front of it, so
Yeah, it lost its purpose, but it's still
Yeah.
there because it's behind other things.
we've got you can't see this because this is audio that we're recording, but on the wall in our studio space / living room apartment,
Rec center.
what's it called? The dining room, maybe? Yeah.
This
Technically, this would be the.
This
dining
is
room.
the overflow space between the kitchen and the wall. And we're using it as a studio, but on the wall behind us, there are red cushions that Corey made for the recording studio he had in a garage at some point. And then we took the loudest thing we could find and put it right next to one of those cushions in the corner so that it resonates and fills the room, because we're not super smart. Yeah. It's a 3D printer, and it yells at trees, too. It just, all the time, it just goes, get off my lawn!
One
It's-
more.
It's better in here than it was right next to the couch in the other room.
Mm.
I
On
would
a
I would
small
sit in
kid's
here
table.
when we first got it, and I would like write music, and I would be like, there's like people talking somewhere, because of the little bitty noises that it makes. It sounded like there was somebody just outside of where you could really understand what they were saying, having a conversation. And it was maybe the most disturbing thing I've ever experienced in my life, because I'd be like, oh, it's just the printer. And I'd go back to trying to do something, and then I'd be like, is it the printer? And I would revisit that deep concern of, like, there are people nearby having a conversation, like, every couple seconds.
It's like when a Prius passes you.
It's like, I know there was a car.
That just happened. I mean, my eyes saw it, but my ears didn't hear it. So did it really happen, or was it just a figment of my imagination?
That's exactly how that happens.
That's a pretty good analogy.
Yeah.
I'll have to use
Two
that.
3D printers
Priuses
are a lot
passing in
like
the night.
Priuses. Priuses?
Priuses.
Priuses? Priuses.
Prius.
Pertussis. No, that's
That's
whooping cough.
We just compared it to a disease, so
Well, I mean, isn't it? Who do you know that owns Prius?
I don't know.
It's not people that you'd be
Silent
excited to be
Priuses
around.
running people over has probably killed as many people. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, doesn't Ian own a Prius?
He does.
Does he really? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Hybrid.
I don't know.
That guy's
I don't know
funny.
why he decided to do that. His dad has the exact same car, and I think his mom also does. So
Yeah.
I could make a guess as to why he got that car.
Or even how he got that car.
It's like, hey, we know a Prius guy, son. We could hook you up. Thanks, Dad. I've always wanted a Prius.
Wow. Someday, son, this will be all yours.
Get off my lawn! My phone's ringing. I've never even
I was like,
experienced
what?
that.
What sound is that? I haven't heard that sound before.
I imagine that's the pizza delivery guy.